really delighted to have Aravind Srinivas on the program.
Thank you for having me here, Jason.
It's so great. I want to go through 3 stages in which I fell in love with your product. The first phase was I could go in, pick my language model if I wanted to use OpenAI, if I wanted to use Claude, whatever it was. That was like a real unlock for me. And on the sidebar, I noticed you had done essentially like what Yahoo did in the early days: finance, sports. And when I pulled my Nick game up, it gave me a live version of that. When I pulled my stocks up, it summarized the news in real time. And I was like, wow, this execution's great. And I kind of made you my front door to different models, and it made it easier for me to check it. Then you came out with the Comet browser. And I was like, holy cow, I can give this a series of instructions. Go to my LinkedIn, find everybody from this company, put them into a Google Sheet, and boom, you were the first out of the gate with that. And then just the last couple of weeks, I had been claw-pilled and using OpenClaw, but you came out with Computer. And I started using Computer, and boy, it's good. It's a really strong start, allowing me to do repetitive tasks, very similar in some ways to Cowork from Claude, or basically an engineer or developer using it. So are these the evolution of the company, and I should think about it that way? But how do you look at Perplexity now? You have a very loyal fan base. You're making a lot of money. I don't know if you disclose it, but I think it's hundreds of millions to billions. You can tell us. But what is Perplexity in the face of, wow, Claude's having a great run, OpenAI still doing strong, Grok doing very well, Gemini coming on strong? There's like 6 or 7 of you, and you just happen to be one of my top 2s right now.
Thank you.
So tell me.
First of all, thank you. Thank you so much. Perplexity has always been built for people who are always looking for the extra edge, the curious people. So it's very natural that you are one of our power users. One common theme for us for the last 3.5 years is accuracy. Perplexity wants to be the company that's building the most accurate AI. So when you want to give somebody answers, accuracy is very essential for building trust, because only then the user is going to ask the next set of questions. It turns out it was a great idea to give AI access to the internet to be accurate. So that's the Perplexity Ask product. It turns out it's a great idea for AI to have full access to a browser so that it can be accurate when you task it to go do something that you would do yourself on a browser. Agentic browsing, Comet. Now, the last phase is, it turns out it's a great idea for AI to be given a full access to a computer so that it can do whatever you do on a computer on its own, essentially becoming the computer itself, an orchestra of everything AI can do today. Every single capability each individual AI model has, be it GPT or Claude or Gemini or anything else, an orchestra of all those capabilities. That's what Perplexity Computer is. And all these sub-agents that are running inside computer are the musicians. The models are essentially the instruments. And there are like hundreds of models out there, each having their own specialization. Some are good at coding, some are good at writing, some are good at multimodal, visual synthesis, image generation, video generation, audio. But what matters is the end output, the music you play. That's the work AI gets done for you. And that's what Perplexity Computer is. The AI itself is the computer now.
Still lives inside of a browser. Have you considered giving it desktop root access?
Yes.
That feels like the next place this is going, but that comes with a lot of security issues, a lot of trust issues. As you mentioned, trust is paramount. Getting the right answer is what builds it, but also not getting hacked and not having it delete your files. So how do you think about root access to my Windows machine?
Correct.
Obviously, iOS, they won't let you, but with an Android phone, it would let you.
Yes.
So do you have that in the works?
Yes. So we announced something called Personal Computer, Perplexity Personal Computer. That's essentially going to take all the trust and reliability and the server-side execution of Perplexity Computer, but synchronize it with your local computer so that you can use it from your phone. And we're going to do this with the Mac Mini, where you synchronize your computer with the Mac Mini. So that becomes your local server. All the agent orchestration that has to do with your local private data will run on that local orchestration loop, that runtime, with the Mac Mini.
Not on your servers, not on Anthropic's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It could still ping frontier models if it needs to, with your permission. but it will be orchestrating everything on your local hardware.
Yeah.
And if it needs to run on the server side hardware, if you don't want very complicated, long running tasks to be running on your local hardware,
Yeah.
you can delegate it to run on your server side computer, which is again only accessible to you and you alone. So that way, we're going to bring this perfect hybrid of trustworthy hybrid between local and server side. And
you'll make it easy to do. It'll just be abstracted. You install one executable, boom, it's done.
It's like OpenClaw for dummies. Nobody needs to learn how to use it. Nobody needs to manage API keys. Nobody needs to manage separate billing across like 100 different services. Figure out what you can give access to and not access to. We take care of that. So it's a Steve Jobs way of doing it. You know, end-to-end integration.
And how do you think about local models? I have started running Kimi 2.5 on a Mac Studio. It's not as good as Claude or Gemini or Grok, but you can probably do about 80% there for free.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And so that's quite compelling considering some of my other bills, Claude and stuff were getting expensive. So do you have one of those you started testing on your local Mac Studio? I assume you have a Mac Studio and you're doing this yourself?
Yeah.
So, or now, I don't know if you saw Dell and NVIDIA announced a giant workstation. Was it a 3800?
Something like that.
Something like that with 750 gigs of RAM. So what do you think about the desktop going back to workstation / server status?
I think it's very promising. My prediction is to initially start off as a sub-agent. So whatever you need to go, like your tax returns, your personal photos, your emails, your calendar, all that stuff, those local apps, your personal notes, very personal notes, you could make sure that the models that access those tokens will be running on your local hardware if you want to, if you're that privacy conscious. And more complicated stuff that accesses your data that's already on the server side, example, your Google Calendar, your Gmail. This is personal data still, but AI runtime can access that through your connector, your Google Calendar connector, your Google Workspace connector. And that could run on the server side because anyway, the data is on the servers. It's not even lying on your device. So that sort of hybrid orchestration is where we're headed to. I don't think it's a dichotomy between fully local versus fully server. It's all about choice. And anyway, when you're on your phone, you don't care actually which server that workload's running from because it's not going to be able to run on your phone anyway. The chips need to exist on a Mac Studio or a Mac Mini or on the server.
Or this new Dell that's coming out. And I really think the idea of spending $10,000 on a powerful desktop will appeal to people if it lowers their $500 a month Claude bill. This is an incredible savings. Plus, you get the benefit of privacy and not educating the language models on your personal data.
Yes, and it's gonna be like you're buying a refrigerator, your internet modem. Like the cost for these will eventually go down.
Yeah,
but it's not gonna feel like you're wasting your money. Every home has a lot of other sensors.
Yeah.
That runs your home, that'll also be part of this orchestration loop.
Yeah.
So that's where it gets exciting because now you can just dictate something to your phone and that can control your entire home. So that's the dream that everybody has. And all that orchestration loop can run on your local hardware, no problem.